my reaction to Wentz being traded is simple. He has this season to save his career as an NFL starter. I do like his avatar picture, him and his beautiful wife. Bart Scott, been a minute. Good to see you.
It's been a minute, but I'm back. Appreciate
I like the fit. Yes, sir. I'll start with you. Bart, where does Wentz rank among the NFC East quarterbacks?
I would say second, with the ability to move up to first. Now, listen, we all understand that Jalen Hurts is a rising star, but I don't think his ceiling is as high as Carson Wentz. It's never been about Carson Wentz's ability to play the position. It's been the mental aspect of the game. And if you hear listening to some of the reports, what they said that he didn't handle coaching well. Sometimes the worst thing that ever happens to somebody who struggles and falls is that they get saved by a friend and they get an opportunity which doesn't allow them to learn the lessons that they need to learn. Sometimes it's good to fall on your face. Frank Reich was there to save him from what he did and what he didn't do in Philadelphia. Now he understands that this is his last opportunity to be a starter, or he's going to replace that spot that's been often occupied by Ryan Fitzpatrick as somebody's veteran backup. So this is an opportunity, but arguably he has an opportunity to save his career with a team that has probably the best skill position players that he's ever played with. When you think about Curtis Samuels, you think about McLaurin, you think about Logan Thomas, you think about Gibson, this is an opportunity for him to save his career in a division that he really knows very well.
Well, cry me a river, Bart Scott. Damn. Talk about speaking the obvious. What you gonna say next? The sky is blue? Give me a break. When you talk about him being the second best quarterback in the NFC East, why don't you illuminate what we're really trying to say? There ain't anybody else in the NFC East. That's why the hell he number 2, okay? We can't put him ahead of Dak Prescott because we know Dak Prescott can ball, even though the Dallas Cowboys wet the bed yet again, pleasing me to the nth degree because Cowboy fans were crying everywhere. I should have asked for the video with the Cowboy fans crying because that just would have made my morning because I'll never get over that video. That video will never be deleted. Those Cowboy fans crying all over the place when they lost to San Francisco in the playoffs, just hilarious. I'm saving that for the archives into perpetuity. It will live forever as long as I'm around. I'm here to tell you that right now, okay? But that's basically it. So you're talking about a guy that barely wins a Dak Prescott. You're talking about a guy in Jalen Hurts who's too young to have done anything real just yet. And you're talking about Daniel Jones, who's never done anything anyway. So he's the number 2 quarterback in the NFC. No wonder it's called the NFC least. Carson Wentz epitomizes it more than anything. Because by him being the second best quarterback in the conference, that tells you all you need to know about the damn division as far as I'm concerned. That's where I'm coming from with it. We know there's a black cat running around someplace where Carson Wentz is, because talent-wise, he's got the talent, Bart Scott. He's got some of the numbers, okay? What he's got, what is it, 140 touchdowns, just 57 interceptions? You got a situation here. He's had 3 losing seasons in 6 years as a starter. I get all of that. It's a 44-40 record as a starter, only completing 62% of his passes for his career. But we know what the problem with him is. He could have a stellar game. Yep. And right at the most inopportune moment, he'll screw up. This is what he does. So you can't measure Carson Wentz by numbers. You can't measure him by what he does from a total perspective. You got to look at moments, because in key moments, this brother will wet the bed, like throwing a pick 6 in his own end zone, like wetting the bed against Jacksonville, the last game of the season.
You can't put that all on him, Steve. You can't put that all on him. Listen, Jonathan Taylor didn't do his thing. That defense gave up touchdowns to Jacksonville, too.
I'm not putting it all on him. I'm not putting it all on them, but my God, here's what I will put on them. The same thing I put on Aaron Rodgers. I don't give a damn how awful the special teams was. How the hell you scored just 10 points at Lambeau Field in a divisional playoff game? That's what I'll put on them. You going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care how putrid your defense was. I don't care how the rest of the team looked. How the hell you only put up 11 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the season finale with a playoff berth on the line? And you lost to the Las Vegas Raiders the week before that, although that was a thriller, 23-20. You still lost to them. So I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, hey, I look at Carson Wentz and there's nothing. Dan Orlovsky's absolutely right. This is his final shot of being a starter. But other than that, it's over.
But from a Washington Commanders standpoint, this is low risk, high reward, because if he can get just some of that back, right? We were picking the Washington Commanders to win the division with Ryan Fitzpatrick last year, right? So you think if Carson Wentz could get anywhere near his MVP type of form, that this team can't, with that defense, with those skill position players, you don't think they can be a legitimate threat to the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, you're the football player. Hold on. You're the football player here, not me. So you just pipe down for a second and let me ask you a question.
Woosah.
Do you have more faith in Ron Rivera?
I do.
Getting the most out of him than Frank Reich?
I do. That matters,
Why?
right? Leadership
Why?
matters,
What evidence?
right?
I like Ron Rivera, but what evidence do you have of that?
Ron Rivera has scar tissue. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot from a football player standpoint himself. He can speak to Carson Wentz as a football player with high expectations of himself. He can talk to him about leadership. It's not a talent problem with Carson Wentz. It's a leadership standpoint. Like you were in Philly, right? And listen, I know he was in Philly. I'm not going to compare him to Allen Iverson. What did Larry Brown mean to Allen Iverson's career? Location matters, Steven. Location matters. And going to Riverboat Ryan is a place where he can break
Wentz with
yes.
Ron Rivera as a comparison to AI and Larry Brown. Have you lost your ever-loving mind? What has happened to you? Have you lost your mind? That is just insane. That is insane.
I know it's apples to oranges, but it makes sense, though.
Excuse me. Allen Iverson wasn't a mistake waiting to happen. Now he was a headline waiting to happen. I can vouch for that. But he wasn't a mistake waiting to happen. Listen, Allen Iverson is not an NBA champion because Shaq and Kobe stood in his way.
Okay.
That's why Allen Iverson ain't a champion. He beat.
Let me go Chauncey Billups.
He beat Vince Carter. He beat Big Dog Robinson and Sam Cassell, Ray Allen in the conference finals. When Carson went through something like that.
Maybe I went a little bit too far, but this is a guy that was considered an MVP.
Thank you.
Let's go with Chauncey Billups and Larry Brown.
Well, Allen Iverson won an MVP.
Chauncey Billups was barely in the NBA. And when he got with Larry Brown taught him how to play the position and how to be a leader. That matters, right? You need somebody that can teach you how to be a leader. Who's to say that Doug Peterson taught him how to be a leader? Who's to say that Frank Reich taught him how to be a leader?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.